Hi, this is Andy with Ninox Corporation. As we continue our discussion of inventory, we're going to begin talking about the first phase of our multi-phase inventory. Now, when I talk about phases, I'm talking about raw materials, sub-assemblies or kits, and finished goods. The first phase, the first level of inventory, is the raw material. I'm going to go to the function menu and click on the inventory icon to go into the inventory module. All of our inventory controls for all level and all phases of inventory are accessible through this inventory module off the control panel. Here we see all of our inventory, all phases, raw material, sub-assembly, finished goods and products. I'm going to click Add New and select Raw Material. I have the option of adding a primary image of this particular inventory item. If you wish to have multiple images of the same item, you can use the notebook. By creating a new note, you have the option to add up to 5 additional pictures to every page of your notebook, and every item can have an unlimited number of pages. Now let's talk about how we identify our inventory items, our raw materials. We have the item code, the SKU, and the product group. Product groups are user definable. You can have as many different product groups as you want, but each individual raw material or inventory item can only be part of one group. And then we have the item or part description. Remember, items may not necessarily be physical, tangible goods. They could be services, they could be reservations, and don't forget that critical inventory item of labor, where you're selling the production of an individual. As is the case with all modules in the Ninox accounting system, you can categorize your inventory and you can classify each category. In addition to the product group, you may optionally define an inventory item as part of a package group. If you're interested in packages, you should go look at the service package training video here on this channel. The variance tolerance is where we define by how much we are willing to accept differences between a purchase order for this product and the receipt of the product. Now, if we're ordering uniquely identifiable or particularly large and expensive items like cars or large pieces of machinery, our variance tolerance might be 0. If I order 10 machines, I expect 10 machines to be delivered. Or a particular item could be such that we have to accept a certain variance. Maybe it's an inventory item of nuts and bolts, and we order them by the 1,000. So if I order 2,000 particular pieces of hardware, and I define a 5% variance tolerance, that means that I'm willing to accept a difference of up to 100 items between what I ordered on a PO and what I received. We can track minimum order quantities and dollars in these two fields. We may have a minimum order amount of, say, $5,000 whenever we're buying this raw material, or we might have to buy it in blocks of a minimum of 100 units each. In addition to the minimum dollar order or minimum quantity order, we also can define the minimum stock level that we want to have at any point in time when we are tracking this item in our inventory. The unit cost is either the weighted average or specific cost we pay to acquire this item from the vendor or supplier who provides it to us. We can have a preferred vendor or supplier for each item, but every item can have multiple suppliers, and we can limit purchase orders for this item to only those vendors who are authorized vendors for this item. Our stock valuation is the unit cost times the quantity of items we have in inventory at all locations at any point in time. That capitalized inventory is shown on this inventory account on my balance sheet. When I sell this item, it will show up in this cost of goods sold account. And when I purchase the item, if I have to expense it for any reason, I can expense it through this account. You can set up default inventory, expense, and cost of goods sold accounts when you set up your system, and you can override those defaults at runtime. And finally, if you've elected to track a multi-location inventory, you can define a default location where this item is most usually stored. Now, if you have multiple inventory storage locations, you have the option to store and move and transfer this item among any of those locations. But there may be one default location where, unless otherwise specified, that's where this item needs to go. The system will automatically keep track month to date, year to date, and lifetime to date, all receipts, transfers, and adjustments, as well as sales and write-offs of this inventory item, and ultimately show us the ending inventory for a particular item. This button here, the active button, allows us to deactivate inventory without deleting it from our system. So maybe we have historically sold this item, we have lots of invoices and purchase orders for this item, but it's no longer going to be available in our sales catalog. We can deactivate it, thereby maintaining our purchase and sales history, but when we go to cut new POs or new sales order invoices, this item will not appear on the pop-up list because it's no longer active in inventory. Once you have defined your items, you can go into the inventory ledger and you can group all of your ledger transactions by item, and you can then see all of the transactions, including transfers, incoming and outgoing products, and sales and adjustments. In the next video, we're going to begin talking about sub-assemblies or kits. I'll see you in that class. Thanks for watching.